This is your Adventist News, a service of the South Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. I'm Tamika Fox. In this week's broadcast, children's ministries answer the call for mission, and men are united in prayer. These stories and more on this week's Adventist News. On November 22, 2025, the South Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists celebrated its annual Charm Day, a day dedicated to children and adolescents. Every year for the past 3 years, an act of kindness has been connected and promoted with the Sabbath celebration, and 2025 was no different. Just a few weeks earlier, in Jamaica, Hurricane Melissa, a deadly Category 5 storm, devastated the island country. This storm peeled off roofs like paper, flooded homes, churches, classrooms, whole neighborhoods, and disrupted the lives of many children and adolescents. Instead of simply just hearing of what happened in Jamaica and moving on, SBC Charm Department invited the children and adolescents of the conference to become part of the healing through a gift of kindness. They were encouraged to bring coins or cash to the Agape Fest concert, not for themselves, but for children like them, kids their age who had lost homes, school supplies, toys, and a sense of safety. Thus, Charm Day 2025 was not merely a theme or program, but a mission. South Bahamas Conference Charm Director Kenesha Sims had this to say.
We wanted the children to know that kindness is also powerful when it travels not just to those we know, but when it goes beyond our borders and our territories. Also, my father was in Jamaica when Hurricane Melissa hit, so this is not just an initiative, it's personal. It reminds me of how deeply connected we all are.
From all over the conference, on the day of the annual Agape Fest concert held at the Grandstand Seventh-day Adventist Church, children and adolescents brought coins and cash, no matter the amount, to contribute to the special offering for the West Jamaica Conference Charm Department. Hands carried coins, whether in bottles, baggies, or envelopes, and with smiles, they dropped their contributions into the bucket placed at the front of the church. 14-year-old Bahamas Academy student Cherise Gator from the Philadelphia church, when asked why she gave, said that sometimes we think kids can't help because we don't have much, but the little that I have could help a family to build back what they lost. Although the coin collection was scheduled to end on Sabbath, November 22nd, the following week still saw kids bringing their coins to the conference, such as 9-year-old Terajon Roll. Through the partnership, the funds were used to provide school supplies and essential items for those affected by the storm. West Jamaica Conference Charm Ministries Director Carol Smythe James shared with ATV News how the gift from the South Bahamas Conference made a direct impact.
Indeed, I want to express my sincere, heartfelt gratitude to Mrs. Kenesha Sims, the Children Ministries Director of the South Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, and to all the faithful children who so generously contributed your coins totaling of US $704 in support of the children of the West Jamaica Conference following the passing of Hurricane Melissa. Your selfless act of kindness and compassion has truly made a meaningful difference. Because of your generosity, many children were able to receive special treats that brought comfort, joy, and emotional support during a difficult time. These thoughtful gestures have helped uplift their spirits and remind them that they are loved and remembered. May God richly bless and keep each one of you. Your faithfulness, generosity, and love continue to inspire hope and healing.
In recent years, the Bahamas also experienced a ravaging storm where Hurricane Dorian, a Category 5 storm, devastated Abaco and Grand Bahama and took the lives of many in 2019. At that time, the Jamaica Union of Seventh-day Adventists was among many who sent financial support to the South Bahamas Conference and the country.
As Bahamians, we know what it feels like to lose so much so suddenly. And to be able to stand together again this time as givers is a blessing we do not take lightly, especially with it coming from our children and adolescents.
CHAM directors, Kenesha Sims and Cindy Stewart, both agreed that ministry is not meant to be done alone. The South Bahamas Conference CHAM department continues to seek meaningful opportunities to collaborate, whether within our local churches, across our country, and throughout our wider division. Here in the Bahamas, literacy continues to play a vital role in national development. Educators across the country stress that strong reading skills not only improve academic performance, but also build imagination, critical thinking, and confidence. Bahamas Academy recently hosted its 4th annual Literacy Night under the exciting theme, Space Stories, Blast into Reading. Approximately 200 students and their parents attended the event, with participants coming from both Bahamas Academy and the wider community. Host Dasque opened and closed the evening with exciting stories that reminded the attendees of the magnificence of the universe and our Creator. The campus was transformed into an interactive space adventure where students wore yellow, green, orange, and blue wristbands that guided them to 4 stations, or as they call them, planets. On these planets, students explored topics such as communication, gravity, survival, and perseverance. They had the opportunity to taste actual space food and learned about notable astronauts who overcame significant obstacles to visit space. After visiting all 4 planets, the children eagerly gathered at the mothership for one final story, Good Night, Astronaut, bringing the evening to a memorable close. Nursing cadets were on hand to offer complimentary blood pressure checks for parents and guardians in attendance. Organizers say the annual Literacy Night continues to grow, benefiting Bahamas Academy and the wider community and cultivating an appreciation of the world and reading. On Sunday, February 22nd, 2026, approximately 75 men of the South Bahamas Conference gathered at the Breath of Life Seventh-day Adventist Church on Marshall Road for the 4th annual Men's Ministries Prayer Breakfast, under the theme, Eyes on the Mission. The event brought together men from across the conference for a morning of prayer, worship, and spiritual renewal. Remarks were delivered by Men's Ministries Coordinator, Brother Michael McCoy, after which the men entered a season of personal prayer. The SBC Men's Chorale provided special music before the devotional address. The men were honored to welcome 2 distinguished guests, Pastor Kent Price, President of the Atlantic Caribbean Union, and Pastor Kenny DeVoe, President of the South Bahamas Conference, who served as the devotional speaker. In his devotional, Pastor DeVoe challenged the men with a message centered on integrity, spiritual discipline, and keeping their focus on Christ. He urged the men to be intentional in prayer, setting aside a consistent time each day to commune with God. He emphasized daily surrender, encouraging each man to confess known and unknown sins and to seek God's forgiveness and guidance. Above all, Pastor DeVoe called the men to keep their eyes fixed on Jesus, the true center of the mission. The service also included a season of intercessory prayer with a focused emphasis on the young men of the church and nation, pastors and elders, and men across both the church and the broader community. The prayer of thanksgiving was offered by Brother Randolph Johnson before the men were seated for breakfast. The Men's Ministries Department continues to mobilize and disciple the men of the South Bahamas Conference to live Christ-centered lives, faithfully proclaiming the everlasting gospel, nurturing spiritual growth, and strengthening families, churches, and communities in preparation for Christ's soon return. The prayer breakfast served as a powerful reminder that the mission is real, the call is urgent, and the men of the South Bahamas Conference are rising to meet it. For more information about the SBC Men's Ministries Department, contact Coordinator Michael McCoy at men@sbcadventist.org.bs or 454-0816. When we return, we'll have more on what's coming up in the South Bahamas Conference.
Let me ask you a question. What's in your hands? In my hands, the Word of God. In my hands, an invitation to hope. In my hands, the power of prayer. In my hands, access to homes and hearts. This Global Youth Day 2026, our youth are putting faith into motion. In the morning, home visitations, tract distribution, prayer walks, and hands-on outreach. Don't forget your water as they impact our communities for Christ. And in the evening, we gather for a powerful joint youth rally, celebrating what God has done through His youth. Communion in action means God uses what's already in our hands. March 21st, 2026. Join us. Let's move from belief to action.
Welcome back to our Adventist News and coming up in the South Bahamas Conference. The Ebenezer Church will host an evangelistic series from March 15th to April 4th. The series will be held Sunday to Friday from 6:45 p.m. to 9 p.m. and on Sabbath from 9 a.m. to 12:30. All are invited to attend. The annual Global Youth Day will be held March 21st, 2026. The theme for this year is Communion in Action. Contact your church's youth leader for more information on how to be involved in the activities of the day. The Children and Adolescent Ministries Charm Department is introducing Charmversations for children ages 11 to 14. The outdoor experience will be launched in 2026 and will be held once a month to create spaces for conversations on the Bible and real-life challenges. The new Bible series hosted by the Charm Department will begin March 15, 2026 at 4 p.m. on Zoom with Pastor Arthur Angela. This study is designed especially for children and adolescents who are thinking about getting baptized or who simply want to understand what baptism truly means. The Health Ministries Department of Berea Seventh-day Adventist Church invites you to its 4-day wellness and rejuvenation retreat taking place May 22nd to 25, 2026 at the Adventure Learning Center in Nassau, Bahamas. Come and experience practical health education, rejuvenating treatments, and spiritual renewal in a peaceful, supportive environment. For more information, contact 828-6387. The ASI Bahamas chapter is inviting all of the 2026 IAD ASI Convention in the Dominican Republic from August 12th to 19th, 2026. For more information, contact 556-0492 or 428-4251. Feel free to visit the South Bahamas Conference website at southbahamasconference.org to receive more information on all our upcoming conference events. There, you can also view a rebroadcast of our Adventist News Update, along with other local programming from our cable channel, ATV 658, and read the weekly logos and the Adventist page from the Nassau Guardian.
Conflict resolution. A conflict is a serious argument between two individuals. Many persons are not aware of ways to resolve these conflicts. Here are a few ways to get through disagreements. Recognize the other person's concerns. Make sure that the person knows that you fully understand their point of view and you are not ignoring them. Calmly discuss each other's concerns. Shouting and blaming each other only makes things much worse. When seeking to resolve conflicts, always meet in person. A face-to-face conversation is a thoughtful way of addressing problems. When communicating electronically, something may be said innocently, but the other person may take it in the wrong way. Pay attention to body language. Oftentimes, we are not conscious of our body movements while conversing with someone else. A person can easily feel disrespected if you give off the wrong type of body language, like crossing arms or not making eye contact. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. When we are saturated with our own beliefs, we fail to realize how the other person may feel. By seeing things from their point of view, we are able to get a better understanding of their feelings. Overall, ensure that the conflict is completely resolved. Make sure you are satisfied with the outcome of the discussion. Don't let issues linger and don't dwell on things of the past. Let us strive at all times to show respect in dealing with each other, showing persons the considerations that you expect in return. This has been Javon Thomas with your health tip, courtesy of Adventist Television. And remember, God wants us to prosper and be in good health.
Let's go now to the Adventist News Network with our news feature from around the world.
Volunteers of all ages took to public spaces with books in hand, smiles on their faces, and a clear message of hope. The project, called Impact Netherlands, launched a large-scale distribution campaign for the book The Great Controversy across the Dutch territory, one of the most secularized regions in the world. With strategic organization and the support of local churches, participants spread out to busy areas such as train stations, shopping centers, and downtown streets. The public's response surprised even the most experienced. Many reacted with interest and emotion when receiving the printed book or a flyer with a QR code linking to the digital version. But the mission goes beyond distribution. For Seventh-day Adventists, the book is not just religious content. It's an invitation to reflect on faith, freedom of conscience, and personal choices in a spiritually complex world. They believe that, over time and through spiritual inspiration, this message can spark meaningful questions, open new conversations, and bring hope to those searching for something deeper.
Well, that's it for our Adventist news from the South Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. To share what is happening at your church, please email your news, stories, and upcoming events to sbcadventistnews@gmail.com. To view a rebroadcast of the Adventist news, along with other programming, and to keep in touch with what's happening at our conference, visit our website at southbahamasconference.org. The SBC Media Network's Facebook and Instagram pages are filled with lots of materials from the Communications Department, so you would want to check those out. And remember to subscribe, like, follow, and share. You can watch and listen to programs from our radio station, Word SBC 88.3 FM, and our Adventist television channel, ATV 658. Get updates, insights, and first-hand information from the SBC Media Network as it happens. The programming from ATV 658 can also be viewed on the South Bahamas Conference YouTube channel, so feel free to watch a recap of our Adventist news. On behalf of our production team, it was our pleasure to bring you tonight's news update. I'm Tamika Fox for the SBC Media Network. Have a happy Sabbath.